if you have real good people around you, they want you to be happy. So never feel guilty for working on your craft. And one little technique that you can use, so this is a way you can ease into it if you're struggling with it. For some people, they can completely cut things off and go tunnel vision, that's fine. But for the majority of people, they need to ease their way into it. But one thing that you can do, which is really, really crucial, which is give yourself a banana. And you might be thinking, what do I mean by that? Hello guys and girls, welcome back to the Falcon YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing great and you've had a great week and you've been looking forward to this episode. So we've been looking forward to filming this episode for a while, as I do believe that it relates to so many key things that's going to help you moving forward. This is going to help you transform the way that you think. Now, you've probably heard the term open-minded and things like that. It's such a key thing, and I'm going to go into the detail and the techniques that is going to help you in your life. But before we get into that, I just wanted to take this opportunity, of course, to thank you all for tuning in on a regular basis, showing up to the lives, and just overall just being enthusiastic, positive, and coming back to the channel. I'm glad this can be the hub that you can come, learn techniques, develop your mindset, and just grow as an individual. So the channel wouldn't be where it is without you. So we really do appreciate the engagement week in, week out. So let's get into the episode. So this is what you came for. So first up, I want to talk about why open-minded is key. So when you're thinking about your Forex journey, you may be learning a particular style, you may have been trading for quite a number of years. Why is open-mindedness a crucial thing? Well, it's where the ego comes in. So we have to look at the other side of it, of what I've seen with a lot of traders where they sabotage themselves. It comes in the form of the ego. So we get to this point where we kind of feel like, right, I know everything now. I know everything I need to know, that's fine, that's me done. And that kind of gives us the closed-minded approach. But when you're open-minded, you're always willing to learn new things. You're always willing to adapt. And I want to go into the key things. So the first part is learning. So number one is learning. So what do I mean by that? How do you learn? So do you learn with intention, or do you learn with going through the motions? And I'll give you a great example. It would be like, imagine going to the gym for the sake of just going to the gym. You just go there every single day, and you probably will get some results because, you know, you're actually going to the gym, but they'll be very minimal because you're just going through the motions. Let me know if you resonate, if you've been there before, where you're kind of just there, but you're not really doing anything, you've not got any structure, no plan, but you're going, so it feels good to go through the motions, right? Well, think about this in your Forex journey. Now switch that to going to the gym with a plan. Your macros, everything's tracked, you know what you're working out, structured, focused, laser focused in what you're doing. Now bring that back to what you're doing with trading. Are you learning content? Are you learning your strategy and kind of going through the motions without any intention or real purpose? Think about that for a moment, because this is how you actually get to the next level. So the next time you're watching a bit of content, however you're trading, it might even be in stocks, for example. The next time you're watching something, you now go in with the mindset of, right, what 1% tweak may I find in this bit of educational video? And how can I apply that? Where's the application? How can I apply that into my trading? Now that thought process alone may be very, very simple, but success leaves clues, and in life in general, what you'll find is that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask on a consistent basis. So what is the quality of the questions that you're asking yourself when you're doing things like this? So if you shift the thought process to how you're actually learning in the first place, that will be huge. So that's number one of the most important things, and you can start doing that instantly. The second part, which I think is crucial, which is, it's an ongoing process, which is your willingness to change and develop your mindset. So what technique are you using right now that's going to help you do that? Well, I'll talk about my own journey. So one of the most powerful techniques that I've used is something I developed called the reread. And the reread is essentially, we've all read books. So think about what books you've read over maybe the last couple of years. When you grow and develop over the years, you become a different person. Your level of consciousness is growing if you're open-minded. So it comes back to the original part of this video about being open-minded. When you're open-minded, you're going to be a different person in a couple of years. And the reread was a technique that essentially, at the end of the year, I would just look at what books I've read, what kind of material I've got. Going into the new year, when I would set goals around what kind of bits of information I want to absorb, what I want to read, I would go back to, oh, these are the books I've read, I've taken a lot of value from them. What ones do I want to reread? Because I know a year down the line, my level of consciousness has already risen. and again and again. I'm going up and up, and I'm always elevating to that next level. So how can I expect to, again, being narrow-minded, saying, well, I've read this book, I know it all. If I'm open-minded, I'm putting myself in a position to be able to absorb something else. And 10 times out of 10, not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, when I reread a book, I take at least 2 to 3 key nuggets that I'm like, wow, I didn't think of it like that. I've now developed as a person, I'm seeing this differently, and then I go and apply it. So the key thing here is the application, not just going through the motions of just, all right, I'm just reading loads of books, I've read all these books, but how are you actually applying that to your life? Remember, if knowledge was the most powerful thing, then librarians would be the richest. It's not about just knowing lots and lots of knowledge, it's about what you do with that knowledge. So again, it's the willingness to develop and change your mindset year after year, and one technique you can use is the reread. Now the third part, which is not always the most popular part, which is sacrifice. Now I've had to do this in my life, so I'll share a story which I think that a lot of you guys and girls will resonate. We've all been in situations where on a regular basis you go out with friends, weekly basis, things like that. Think of it like this. For the majority of us, when we hear things like, you know, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend your most time with, well then you look at your circle and think, should I really be spending my time with these people? It's not always easy for people to just cut off all of their friends and say, right, just because they're not ambitious or they're not this, then I should just cut them all off. And I totally get that. But a technique that you can use to be moving towards that is to ease yourself into it. Not every single one of your friends has to be ambitious. Not every single one of your friends has to be a multimillionaire. There's different things that you take from people. So I think that part's kind of been a bit misconstrued. It's about the value that you take from your inner circle and your friendships. Things like, are you valuing loyalty? Are you valuing trust? People that you can rely on? Well, you may increase your circle with somebody that's financially more well off, but you can't trust that person. So are you actually increasing your circle by bringing someone in just because they're financially more well off? So you have to look at it from a 360 holistic point of view and not just black and white. But from the point that I think is really, really important, that if you want to ease yourself into it and you're wondering, Mark, well, that's all well and good, but I enjoy time with my friends and, you know, I don't, how am I going to do both? Well, it's not about doing both, it's about sacrifice. Anyone that's ever achieved anything in their life, they have sacrificed. You've done something to get there. It doesn't come overnight, it's not easy. But a technique that you can use is this. What I used to do is that I used to love going out with my friends, you know, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Thursday night. We would literally go every single week. And I found myself having the question of, right, are successful people, I started to think about it, so are the really, really super successful people doing this every single week? What are they doing? They physically can't, because I work all week and then Friday, Saturday, well, not Sunday, but most of the weekend, I've got no time after that. If I'm going out all the time and I'm doing all these things, or if I'm going to an event or I'm going out or I'm going shopping, I've got no time to be working on myself. So what are people that are successful, what are they doing? So then what I started to do is that rather than just go cold turkey, if you like, I started doing every other weekend. So rather than going out every single week, I would say, right, well, this weekend I'm going to go and enjoy myself, guilt-free. You know, I want to spend time with my friends, enjoy it. And then next weekend, I'm going to spend Friday and Saturday working on myself, working on my craft. And then I started to realize, well, what I'm going to do as well is, rather than going Friday and Saturday, I'm just going to go out on the Saturday. So I would say, right, I'll go out every other weekend, but I'll only go out on the Saturday. And then I would get rid of the Friday. And then before you know it, it's every third weekend, and then every month. And then I would reward myself accordingly as to when I'm going to do it. And do you know what? It actually made sense in my life, because it actually made it more meaningful. So then when I would go see friends and things like that, people that I grew up with, it actually meant more, because I would go there with intention to really, you know, catch up and things like that. But then I spent all the time working on myself and growing my wealth, developing my mindset, being open-minded, changing as a person, optimizing myself, and actually developing, and actually became more happier. Remember, if you have real good people around you, they want you to be happy. So never feel guilty for working on your craft. And one little technique that you can use, so this is a way you can ease into it if you're struggling with it. For some people, they can completely cut things off and go tunnel vision, that's fine. But for the majority of people, they need to ease their way into it. But one thing that you can do, which is really, really crucial, which is give yourself a banana. And you might be thinking, what do I mean by that? But it's like this. Like, I'm a big football fan. I absolutely love football. So I'll give you something for what I personally do. Let's say, for example, and sports in general, if I want to watch something on sports, and I'm thinking, right, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's about discipline. It's about give yourself a banana after you've prioritized what you need to do. So it's not that you can't play video games. It's not that you can't enjoy yourself. It's what are you prioritizing before? So if there's anything that I'm looking forward to, what I will always do is I will go, right, as long as I've done this, these 5 things, these are congruent with my goals, these are going to push me to where I need to be. As long as these parts are achieved, then I can then look forward to what I'm going to reward myself completely guilt-free. And I feel good about it because I know that I've prioritized what I need to do to keep pushing myself to where I want to get. Now, the question I want to ask you guys and girls is, what is the compound effect of that? Think about that. What's the compound effect of, let's say every other weekend you want to ease yourself into it over a year period? Just look at that. We're looking at, let's say 4 hours every other weekend, right? So let's say 8 hours on average, or you could probably round that up to 10 and put the hours in. Say you're doing 10 hours every single month now, working on yourself, and you're still enjoying yourself with friends and all that kind of stuff, but you're doing 10 hours. You do that times 12. Think about it. So 120 hours. You look, even if you spent 100 hours a year, what could you accomplish on a particular topic? What if you spent 100 hours worth of learning a new language a year? How much would you know that? What if you spent 100 hours learning a new instrument, 100 hours working on your craft? What could you achieve? That is the thought process that I want to bring you towards. And if you can just implement these things into your day-to-day life, I promise you the compound effect of that, you will be shocked at how much you achieve. So to summarize this video, guys and girls, which I hope you've taken a lot of value from, essentially, being open-minded is about a number of things, but this is what has definitely worked for my journey. It's helped me massively grow as a trader, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. It really has. And it's about that open-mindedness. It's about how I learn. It's about how I'm changing, developing my mindset. What am I willing to sacrifice to move forward? To remember, discipline is the highest form of self-love. So that's how I've always seen it. So give yourself a banana, do it in the right way, prioritize your goals. So I hope you took a lot of value from it. Let me know how this resonates with you, if you've kind of done any similar techniques, if you've applied this into your day-to-day life. And as always, I thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. And guys and girls, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone.